I wanted to be married before I was 30.
Yeah.
I wanted somebody that was really good with my son because, I just had my son at the time and he's autistic. And so I wanted somebody that I could trust with my son. And so, even though there were red flags, it was almost like I wrote a pass for it
Mm.
because it was just like, well, we got this check, we got this check, maybe he doesn't treat me so good or he doesn't talk to me so well sometimes, but he's good to my son. I can trust him with my baby.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, that's real. I get it because the red flags, I mean, sometimes we think we can fix people, sometimes we think we can love people through those flags. Sometimes we just simply ignore them. So uh,
Yeah.
I understand. I want to talk to you about autism because the Brave Hearts community know I have two kids with autism. The two kids that my wife and I have together. They're 4 and 5 years old. Does having a child with autism, does that make dating a little more difficult? Or is that more of is it a hard conversation to have with someone, or just, like, is it an extra layer of making dating harder, having a child with autism, because they do have certain challenges that everyone can't adjust to.
Absolutely. I think that's like a dual answer, really.
Mhm.
Because as I grew older and more mature, um, and I think even when I was younger, it was always very important that I was dating someone that would be good with my son, that I could trust with my son, because my son is nonverbal. He's 15 years old, he's nonverbal. And so, I know my son, we have such a connection that if anything was wrong, if anything, happened to him, if he was in distress, I would know, but he would not be able to open his mouth and tell me, Mom, this happened
Mhm.
to me. He wouldn't be able to verbalize that. So yes, it definitely has, it's kind of twofold because Zion, that's what my son's name is,
Mhm.
Zion.
Mhm.
He knows good people.
Mhm.
He knows good people. He will, come and touch your face and lay his hand on your face. And, if he saw you and your beard, he will come and touch your beard. He likes that. And so he knows good people. But when it's something a little iffy about you, he gonna stay in his own little world. And so absolutely having a child with autism has definitely, like, my radar is up a little bit more,
Yeah.
I think, that than a regular parent. I don't bring my children around anybody that I'm dating unless I know that it's serious,
Mhm.
or it's gonna be, more than just, a date or two.
Mhm. Mhm.
Because routine is really important for children with autism. Really, really important. So if they get used to being around a man or being around a person, that's going to be really hard. My ex-husband was really, really good with my son. Really, really good. And like I said, that sold me. That one thing sold me.
Yeah.
And even after the divorce, me and my ex-husband had a daughter together. We
Mhm.
have a daughter together. And even after the divorce, probably about a year after the divorce, he was pretty consistent still in his life, getting him like once a week.
Mhm.
And then it just stopped completely. Now I can't say, exactly why. He did move on. He does, he did get remarried and everything like that. But it stopped. And when it stopped, I saw a drastic change in my son. Because his father was never really, really there a lot.
Yeah.
He was kind of in and out. He still, is. He has his moments,
Mhm.
but that took a toll on my son,
Yeah.
you know, to the point where he wouldn't even go. outside when he would come in, and when my ex-husband would come and get my daughter. He wouldn't go around. He wouldn't want to talk to him, and this probably went on for about a year or so, that he was kind of like, you left me. That's kind of what it seemed like you
Yeah.
left me. You
Yeah.
you you didn't deal with me no more, and so now I don't want to deal with you. Now he has adjusted. He's adjusted to him not being around. It's been 7 years though. So it took a while.
Yeah.
It did take a while.
Mhm.
So yes, if I hope I answered your question. Um it definitely, I think it helps, honestly, because I'm just not just going to just jump into anything,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
When you have a child who's special needs, and
Mhm.
then too, there has been, times where men have been a little iffy about it because it's just like, he doesn't talk,
Yeah.
because as a man, just think about the things that you would think of coming into a
Mhm.
relationship, with a woman who has a special needs child that
Yeah.
is nonverbal,
Mhm.
that has other outside parents that would be involved, and
Yeah.
all the drama that can come from there, all the drama that you could think of in your mind that
Mhm.
could come from that,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm. That's real. I no, I totally agree with you. Because my 4-year-old, he's just like starting to talk.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and we got him in speech therapy and stuff like that, and it's a process. My 5-year-old, he's doing well, but
Mm-hmm.
it's just the every day, like you said, needing to be consistent. There's just so many different things that comes with having a special needs child, and that person, whoever decides to be a part of your life, they have to, especially if they're not aware of those things that go on within your son.
Yeah.
You have to be patient and you have to be loving. And I do believe that kids with autism, like I believe they spirit be on point. Like they can look at
Period.
somebody, or so I so I get it. So when you talked
I'm gonna
about,
tell you, like when my son do somebody like this,
yeah.
a side eye,
Mhm.
I'll be like, okay,
Yeah.
let me watch them. Let me
Mhm.
make sure everything's up and up with them because he just gave you a side eye. I'll tell you something else. If we go out and eat something and my son don't eat something,
Mhm.
I ain't eating it.
Mm.
I will not eat it.
Yeah. Hmm. That's a new one. That's interesting.
Pay attention.
Yeah. Well, I need to step my game up then. Thanks for the for the nugget, because I didn't think about that. That's good. I wanted, because I was looking at some of your Instagram stories and your reels, and you talked about the video with the wedding dress on, right? I thought that was really good. So for those who haven't seen it, make sure that you go follow Phylicia's page, and I'll ask for your information at the end so that way everyone can get in touch with you. You said somebody is going to show you why all the heartbreak and pain was necessary, and you will see why it will be all worth it sometime soon. You said you will see why it all had to happen the way it did. God will forever get the glory, period. Then you say these three things. And I kind of want you to go in depth about these a little bit. You said,
Okay.
ask God to replace the date of that bad memory and make it like it never happened.
Yes, yes. So